Okay, so today we're at Not Just Coffee downtown in Charlotte, and this video is finally about languages as I introduce to you guys my biggest language learning series on YouTube ever.
Aside from my soul, there goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight from my soul. I think a fallen angel just walked by. I think a fallen angel just walked by. I think a fallen angel just walked by. I think a fallen angel just walked by.
Okay, so finally talking about languages after the last few videos that were mostly about this new big project. So I'm really excited for this topic today. So as you guys know, the last 7 months I've been mostly working on all these different aspects of the projects. I've been learning how to program and design and topography and all these different things. So the reality is that although it's ironic that I've been writing a whole book all about how to maintain foreign languages, I've had to forsake my own language maintenance in the process. And so I actually think it's a perfect opportunity and the timing is just right for tons of great content, because now I basically need to revive a lot of my languages because I haven't been able to do almost no study on any of my major languages, really. I've barely spoken most of them, even in the last 7 months, because I've just been that focused on everything else. So I now have to put a lot of work into sort of reviving all of the sort of language loss that I probably have had. The situation's pretty bad. A lot of them are pretty rusty. And I essentially need to build up a really strong system again, where I can get them back up to scratch, maintain them, and do so in a way that will be sustainable. So here's a big goal for this year. So as you guys probably know, I have like 8 main major languages that I speak. So these are languages that I've certainly at one time spoken to a degree of fluency. And I would say before this all went downhill with regards to language study, I spoke all of them to a degree of fluency, all concurrently at the same time. But some of those now are pretty darn rusty. I'm a little concerned even, but I will say I've had a few opportunities to speak most of them here and there, and I'm actually always surprised that I can still speak them to some degree. And then some of them, like French, Japanese, Spanish, Italian, like those languages were much stronger before, so they're not going to have changed as much, and I'm pretty happy. But the whole situation is pretty rusty. So here is the objective. The objective is by the end of this year, so by January 2019, I would like to try to get all of those major languages back up to scratch, back up to reasonably high levels, and even improve them on where they were before. So that's a pretty big goal for that amount of languages. And I also have several sort of bonus languages, as I call them. These are other languages that I have learned quite a lot of, information about and in at one point or another. For example, Russian. There have been times where I've really studied Russian quite a bit and learned quite a lot. But these are languages where I didn't fully commit to them. I was kind of experimenting, or for whatever reason, I stopped learning them, but that I still care about, and that I would actually also like to speak fluently one day. So it's going to be really interesting because I need to create a system and essentially follow all of my own advice that I give in the book in order to successfully, like I said, get all these languages back up to scratch and do so in a way where I'll be able to sustain that throughout into 2019 But it's not just about maintaining all those languages. My belief is that you're never just maintaining, right? You're always either getting slightly better every day or slightly worse every day, or a combination of the two. So my goal is to, again, not just maintain all these languages, but improve them. So there we go. That's kind of what's coming up. So in future videos, I'm going to be documenting this entire process for the whole rest of this year. So that is my goal. This is going to be the biggest series I've ever done. And so if you guys wouldn't mind, what I would really love is I want to make this as interesting as I can, and I want this to be as enjoyable as I can, and as it can be. So if you guys have watched my previous series, for example, I did the series on, I began documenting my process to reading my very first Spanish novel. I really enjoyed making that series. I really, really did. It was so much fun. It's showing you guys the difficulties, the struggles, the success, filming the videos around town in my hometown in England. But there's also the Korean from Scratch series that was also really fun, but I think it was very different. And then, of course, I've had other series as well. So I would love it if any of you guys watched those, or if you'd like to watch them now. I'd love to know like your favorite elements of those different videos. So if there was a particular episode that you really enjoyed the most, I think one of my favorite episodes was episode 3 of the Spanish reading series. If you haven't seen it, go check that out, because I really enjoyed making it, and I think it was one of the most interesting ones. I also really enjoyed several of the Korean from Scratch videos. I really enjoyed video 2 of the Spanish series, where I talked about a bunch of little anecdotes of my reading history in foreign languages. I pulled out all the books I've read and told some stories. So just if there's anything that you guys really enjoyed about those videos, please let me know in the comments, and feel free to give me suggestions. Tell anything that you would like to see, and things that you think I've done well in the past, because I want these to be as interesting as possible. Also, last thing I'll say, I'm going to be documenting this all throughout the rest of the year. So it's going to be a lot of videos. It's going to be so much fun. And of course, I'm going to have a lot of opportunity to improve, right, over the course of the year. So there's no doubt that the videos in 3 months from now are going to be much better than the ones today. But okay, so that's it for now. I'm going to try to keep these short reasonably. You know I can't really do that, but one can dream. I'm super excited. I can't wait. So let's just toast to that. And I'll see you in the next video.
There goes a sight from my soul.